I wanna break down that sleep cycle with you, because as you're saying, in this theory that you're proposing, that our sleep cycles are essential in doing essential biology for while we're awake. So what are we doing at night, and that's so necessary for when we're wakeful? What's going on in the physiology?
Well, a big chunk of information that's emerged over the past few years has been memory consolidation. That's when we sort of consolidate our facts that we've acquired during the day. We either forget them or we consolidate them. The data that I have been most impressed with has been from Yanbourns group, and what he did was to devise a problem which people then had to solve. And he introduced the problem to one group in the morning and then asked them to perform it in the afternoon. And only about 20% of the group solved the problem. The next group, introduced to the task in the morning, performed it the following afternoon, but they had no sleep. And about 20% of the group got it, nicely controlling for fatigue. But the really interesting group, of course, is introduced to the task in the morning, perform it the following afternoon after normal sleep, and 60 to 70% of the group solve the problem.
Wow.
And that's just a spectacular example of how a night of sleep can help us come up with novel solutions to complex problems. And boy, do we not need that facility at the moment. But the other thing is I mean, to some extent, the importance of sleep is often defined on the basis of what happens when we don't get it. And some other studies have shown that the tired brain only remembers negative experiences, but not positive ones.
Really?
Which I think is, again, really interesting. And of course, it makes evolutionary sense, because you're gonna remember the stuff that could potentially harm you. But what it means is, if you're constantly tired, your entire worldview, the way you base, the way you build your decisions, the way you interact with others, will have a negative bias versus a positive bias. And so, again, a really important aspect of sleep. I mean, so much, goes on. We talked about toxin clearance very specifically. There's a misfolded protein called beta amyloid, which has been associated with the development of dementia and Alzheimer's. And we know that beta amyloid is packaged up and cleared whilst we sleep. There's a new clearance system that's been discovered called the glymphatic system. And that's very active whilst we sleep. And those data sort of underpin the observations that severely disrupted sleep in the middle years can predispose you to Alzheimer's and dementia in later years. Now, it's not everybody, but if you are predisposed to that, track, then poor sleep in the middle years is going to nudge you closer to that trajectory. So, yeah, I think there's incredible amounts